As a bike commuter, I get about 10 flats a year, and last month I got 3 flats and I was just sick of it. So I was looking to get either solid tires or go tubeless, but then I found these. This is Tannus Armour, and it's like this lightweight foam insert that goes in between the tire and the inner tube. And so it protects you from things like goat heads and little shards of glass and metal that I'm always running into on the road. And I think with these, the only way that you can really get a flat is to have like a slash or something. And that almost never happens. So this should theoretically make flats impossible. Now, Tannus also makes a solid tire, and the problem with that is the ride of a solid tire is very harsh, and I didn't want that. The downside of this is, well, number one, after putting this in, I realized that putting it one in is very difficult. It takes about 15 minutes to do, and you have to be very careful to get the flanges into seat it into the tire and the rim in such a way that the inner tube is in between there. And you have to use a smaller inner tube. So this is a 32 millimeter tire, and I'm using an 18 to 25 inner tube for it because the inside of the armor casing is much smaller. The armor casing does add weight to the tire. I don't know how much it is. It's a few hundred grams, but it makes a difference if you care about having a really lightweight wheel. So I mean, no one's gonna be racing in these things, but they're made for commuters, I think. And for commuting, a couple of hundred grams isn't gonna make a difference. But um, again, it took me 15 minutes to put this on. They give you these really beefy tire levers to put it on, and you're gonna need them. It takes some doing to get this in there for sure. And I kind of dread having to put it in again when the tires wear out. But it's not bad. It's 15 minutes. I'm putting this on my e-bike, and especially with e-bikes, I think it's very crucial to have something so you don't have to deal with flats because on a regular bike, I can fix a flat within less than 5 minutes. But on an e-bike, especially on the rear wheel where the hub motor is, you have to disconnect all these things. And it took me over 30 minutes to disassemble the rear wheel, disconnect it, and this is with tools at home, and then put this Tannus Armour in there. So there's no way I'm going to be doing this on a side of the road, and I'm not going to carry around all the tools I need to disassemble the rear wheel of an e-bike. So something like this, especially if you're going to commute with an e-bike, is crucial. The other option is to go tubeless, but the problem with tubeless is that the sealant dries out and you have to replace the sealant every so often and refill it. And that's just a hassle that I didn't want to deal with. This is hard to put on, but once you put it on, I think I'll be good for like a year or two until the tire runs out and then I have to replace the tire. So it's a little bit of a hassle to put on, but and you do lose some you gain some weight on your wheel, so some rotational mass. And I think the ride is a little bit harsher, but not too bad. I rode it and it feels pretty good. So I'm willing to take that. I think between the options of going tubeless, which I have to deal with the sealant, or two, going to a solid tire, which is, I think that's also very hard to put on. And the ride is really harsh and uh, it's even stiffer, and I think the grip isn't as good. So I think this for me, and I think for most commuters, is gonna be the best option. And again, especially if you have an e-bike with a difficult to remove rear wheel that you're gonna have a really hard time fixing a tire on, you want something like this. Now this thing costs about $50 per armor insert, and so it's about $100 for both wheels, which sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, like I'm changing flats about 10 times a year. That and an inner tube costs about $5. And so that is $50 in inner tubes every year. And then not counting the hassle of fixing a flat. And so this should last a long time. I mean, I think that you can reuse these things. They probably I'm guessing it would last like a decade or more. It's just foam, so I don't know why it wouldn't last a long, long time. It's completely protected from the sun and everything. So I think it is definitely worthwhile. But I'm going to try it out. I'm going to ride it for a couple of months, and we'll see how many flats I get, and then I will make a follow-up video several months from now talking to you about my experience with the ride quality and things like that.